20, jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
We all want to be in control of our own circumstances. Naturally, we want to do what's most convenient and satisfying for us. Although it's often difficult to recognize, it's not always about us, our feelings, or even our values. Sometimes in order to be in control, you have to submit to the fact that you can't control everything. If your values and process are in the right place, eventually great things are bound to come. Control what you can control and trust the process. All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. I tell my kids, anytime I'm brought in for a speaking gig or whatever the case may be, control the controllables. Those are the things to focus on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Adam Carriker Show, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, each and every day. Husker sports, college football, and sports in general. But you're going to get unique insight of brotherhood, honesty, and producer Jake and I, when he's not taking one of his world-famous naps, are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. Isn't that right? Wake up, Jake.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Show's starting, isn't it?
All right, I got a topic right out the gate. I told you I had one. Did you see this on X yesterday? And this thing spread quickly. 100 men versus a gorilla. Did you see this yesterday? The debate?
I saw. I didn't
Who would
see
win?
the debate. I saw like AI do a video of it.
Who would win? All right, we're kicking off the show. If you didn't see this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm at my son's baseball game. And while they're warming up in between innings, I'm like, all right, what's going on X real quick, before I put my phone down. And the first thing I see, the person's like, this is trending on Twitter. And I'm like, well, I haven't seen it all day. After I saw it the first time, I saw it like 15,000 times the rest of the evening. 100 men, no weapons, 100 men versus a gorilla. Who would win? So, first of all, in order for the men to win, it was never clarified. How do the men win? In my mind, I'm like 99 of them die, one still alive. The gorilla doesn't make it. That's how the men win. That's how I guess we would, in this
Right,
fictional world. Let me be clear, fictional world, okay? Just for fun, discussions, whatever. All right, who would win? The gorilla, Jake, or 100 men where one man just has to be the last guy standing?
And the gorilla has to be taken care of, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't just hide in the corner.
That is correct. that is correct. All right, who you got? Who would win? Let us know on the text line. All right, I'm curious. What's that number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
Who you got? 100 men or a gorilla? Jake, you go first.
Boy, I probably got to. The men would have to be organized. They'd have to have a plan together. So that would be important. And then you'd have to have the brave men up front who will be the sacrifice, right?
Like, you're going to die, right?
Right. Yeah. If you're the first line, you're not going to make it.
It's kind of like when they used to fight with muskets with the swords on the end, and they would just all bum rush each other. Like, if you were in the first three waves, you knew what was going to happen.
Right.
Like, I've always been like, really? That's how we settle things. I'm in the back. I'm sorry. That's not cowardly. That's just smart. You know what I mean? But anyways, go ahead.
So I don't know. I mean, the problem is how do you finish off the gorilla? I mean, can you choke him? I mean, it'd be tough. So I'd probably side with the gorilla at this point, I think.
All right. So I've not spent a ton of time thinking about this, honestly. But anytime I've been like, who would win? Initially, I was like, oh, it's the gorilla. Are you kidding me with this? And then I was like, wait a minute. Like, eventually, wouldn't the gorilla just get worn out? Like, you just get wave after wave after wave. Wouldn't he just get worn out, or she, or whatever? And then I was like, So I think I watched an AI video, which, by the way, the gorilla just destroyed everyone. It wasn't even close in this AI video that I watched. And then I read like an analysis thing. I'm like, wow, I'm kind of like diving into this. Again, I didn't spend a lot of time on it, but I was like, all right, I'm actually going to talk about this with Jake tomorrow. And one person was like, go for the eyes. If it's a male, go for the you know what. And you can just start to wear it down over time. So if someone gets behind it, you kind of try to choke it out. That person dies. The next person comes. That person dies. And you just keep trying to choke out the gorilla until, at some point. But then they started to talk about like a gorilla's bones are like 4 times more dense than a human's, and you can't really pierce the skin. Not without like a legit object, which you cannot have. There's 100 of you, you don't get an object too. All right. And it was like, how would you even hurt this thing really? And that's where the eyes and the growing came in, and maybe you try to choke it. I've gone back and forth on this. Has anybody, and I'm still, as we're speaking, I'm still going back and forth as I'm still making up my mind. Because initially I was like, oh, gorilla, not even close. And I was like, wait, wouldn't it just get worn out after a while? And anybody texted in yet? Anybody got any thoughts?
Yeah, but it's mostly on the gorilla side.
Yeah.
2267 says a gorilla is 100% winning. Earthquake Glue says gorilla for sure. Husker P says gorilla wins every time. 8356 says if it was 100 Adam Carriker says size guys, I would give the guys a chance.
All right,
if it was
that person gets a prize.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, no Carriker's trivia challenge this week. You're the prize winner. All right. No, go ahead. What else we got?
Eric says AI says the men would win. Also, damn you for bringing this up.
That's why I make for like fictional. Make it very clear it's fictional. Just a little bit of banter that was kind of all over the place. All right, now I have to officially decide. At first, I was like, it's the gorilla, and it's not close. I was like, this is kind of fun but dumb at the same time. But then, like, I started seeing other people like actually trying to analyze how this would work. First of all, you do have to be a unit. Then one person talked about coming in waves, and you just eventually wear them out. You take out one eye, you take out the other eye, you hit them in the groin, and you just repeatedly try to choke. And I was like, wow, there's like some game planning to this. You know what I mean? Are there halftime adjustments? How does this work? I think I'm still going to side with the gorilla. I think the one thing that the men or the people would have working in their favor is, can you just wear it out till it's just exhausted? Like for me, like dogs naturally know how to swim, right? All right. I've had a pool a lot of my life, and we've always taught our dogs not how to swim, but how to get out. Like if they fall in, they don't know where the stairs are. They don't know. So we always have to train them. Here are the stairs. In case you fall in and we're not here, or whatever the case, they always know where to go. Even though a dog knows how to swim, eventually, if it doesn't know how to get out, it's not going to end well because you just get worn out. I think that's the one thing, is if the humans could come up with a legit plan, if they could be patient, okay, kind of like, this is going to be a terrible analogy, but like rationing your food over time, kind of like come in waves and see if you could wear it out a little bit. Other than that, it's just going to be ugly really quick. But anyways, I don't know. You got any final thoughts? Any other texts on that? I don't know. You never know what you're going to hear on this show. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and then I saw I was catching traction, and then, like I said, it's actually kind of interesting. Anyways, final thoughts before we move on, Jake.
Well, there are more texts coming in, and some of them I can read, some of them I can't. But, I just think about you have enough of them like go for one leg, right?
Yes.
And then another will go for the other. I mean, maybe you can pin them down, and yeah.
There's hope.
Yeah, I think so.
You're avoiding reading the text for a reason, aren't you?
I just ciphered through them. This is getting a lot of text.
Wow, I didn't expect this type of response. Let's talk Nebraska football. Gets real quiet. Gorilla versus 100 men. All of a sudden, we're bombarded with text. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jordy Ball. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about today. Portal updates. As of the last time I looked, 4 new Nebraska football players have entered the portal this morning. We had several of our former Huskers get opportunities via undrafted free agent status over the weekend in the NFL. Jordy Ball has earned some national honors as well. Got some clips. You know, Quinn Ewers. DP's hopping in. What you got, DP? Was this a sensitive topic?
Let me say this. The only men who think would beat a silverback have never seen a silverback in person.
So we were at the Omaha Zoo last week for my daughter's birthday on Friday.
Yeah.
It actually bum rushed the glass because children were pounding on it. It about cracked the thing. I got a lot of respect for him.
There are no humans
100
who have ever been around a silverback that would think any number of human beings. First of all, men have fear.
This is true.
We have logic. And when we watch one of us get our face torn off, the other 99 bail.
You make a good point. So what if we're in an enclosed room and you got nowhere to go? And eventually you got to face it.
It is a bloodbath of humanity.
You don't think they'd get together at some point?
No, there is nothing you can do. Listen, you're talking about 100 men running into the brick wall.
So, like I said, I do think the gorilla would win. But I think if you can get on the same page, you got some guys who are willing to be sacrificial lambs. Good luck with that. Like, it would have to be the perfect scenario. It might get interesting. Outside the perfect scenario, I agree with you.
Where are you going to find 10 Adam Carrikers willing to go up front and sacrifice themselves for the Jake Bachovens of the world?
Why isn't Jake sacrificing himself for me?
That's what I want.
Because I won't do much for the battle.
Because the 10 Carrikers would watch the 90 box get absolutely mutilated and go, what are we doing?
You know what's funny? I heard the keypad on the door, and I'm like, it's DP coming in.
Yeah.
Either we're in trouble or he wants to weigh in. I didn't know which one it was.
I watched. And I'm a bit of an animal geek.
All right.
And so there are certain personalities online that have these discussions, and they go through the science behind it. And in having this discussion, it's the same people to say, okay, what army of what? Like, if you had 1 million mice, okay, different deal, right? Different logic, different thinking. But the idea that 100 men can agree to do anything together.
It'd have to be the perfect scenario to even be interesting.
It would have to be 100 of the best pro wrestlers ever, chemically enhanced.
Who are these 100 men? That's another good point. Who is it?
Like the 100 men matter. If it's 100 Andres, we got a shot. You have a fighting. You have a puncher's chance.
Andre the Giant, to be clear.
Yeah, you have a puncher's chance. But if you have today's pro wrestler, no, there's no shot.
Yep. You don't want a Darby Allin?
No.
Most people are like, who's Darby Allin?
Although Darby would enjoy whatever the result was going to be.
Yeah.
Darby's kind of built different in that he likes the pain.
He does. That's fair. That's fair.
He would be the one that would just go, let's go.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I can see that.
There's a difference between liking the pain and having your limb torn off.
But it's that part that at some point it would become recreation for the gorilla.
Yep.
Just to mangle humanity.
Do you think he gets worn out at any point?
No,
just exhausted.
They're different species than us. They don't have that. They run through jungles and swing from trees and run through. No.
Yeah.
We don't have that. We don't have that kind of endurance.
I was watching this thing. Their bones are like 4 times as dense. Their skin is like, what'd they say,
it's
5
armor.
times thicker.
It's a full armor. You could punch it in the chest with an item, and it would just go your face.
Isn't it crazy that like? And it's the mental part of it. I get it, but physically, like we're supposed to be at the top of the food chain, but really we're one of the wimpiest species that exists out there, especially when it comes to predators. You know what I mean?
That's why we hunt with weapons.
Well, yes, that's why I said the mental part of it.
With weapons.
Yeah, the cerebral side.
We are not going into a jungle and going, "Hey, lion, let's tango." No, we know better. We know we not. No. The guy said, "My bank account ain't built like that."
Is there a scary predator, and I know gorillas, I don't know if you view them as predators, but like a scary type animal that 100 men maybe could take? Like a lion. 100 men on a lion?
Well,
tigers are bigger. Bears are bigger depending on the type of bear. That's why I went with a lion, the king of the jungle, though.
The logic, because humans have logic. And when we see one of us get mangled by a thing, we can't help but go nature versus nurture.
Mm-hmm. Fight or flight.
Like
I get it.
We have to make that decision. We joke about business decisions in sports all the time. People like you think these predators are making business decisions?
No.
No. Like orcas are out there just partying. They're just partying. They're like, "Hey, shark, I hear you're a shark.
Nope.
Guess what? I'm an orca."
Well, I actually love that analogy. Well, first of all, orcas live in pods. Sharks are lone animals, but you probably know this, but there was an orca, or at least I've seen the video on it. They could figure out that if they flipped the shark over, the shark fell asleep, and then it was obviously defenseless.
Yeah, I mean,
and they figured that out.
Well, but they figure out how to maneuver without a way for humans to figure out that they're maneuvering in unison. That they work with Mother Nature to hunt. Like, wait a minute. You watch the videos of them with penguins on an iceberg, and they break down the iceberg on purpose. And the different levels of attack. And then finally they just tip it over and go, okay, cool.
I've seen videos where they're literally just toying. It was a seal that I saw. They were just toying with the seal back and forth.
With it, and they play with each other. Like the idea that, you know what? We just decided that we don't like you. And the rest of us want you gone.
Yep.
And bye.
We're done playing. Now it's time to eat.
Yeah. So listen, we like to believe that our intelligence is enough that we're able to maneuver ourselves in that space. We could maneuver. What the real question would be, what type of man would be the last of the 100? Yeah, is that the smartest guy, the bravest guy, the biggest guy?
It's one of two. It's either the guy that hides in the corner or the biggest, strongest guy. When you asked that, what I envisioned, do you remember years ago, Rock was like Hollywood Rock, and they were doing like a battle royal to go to WrestleMania. He slid under the rope, and then just did commentary the whole time, and then came back at the end. Now somebody still beat him. Was it Hurricane? I forget who it was. Actually knocked him over the top rope. But I could see some guy just hiding in the corner and then coming back late at the end trying to capture the dub.
And you're literally just smart enough to choose how you're going to go.
Yep. Oh, I get it. I just thought it was interesting.
Like, that's the smart guy. The 100th guy is the guy who simply chose, look, I know that I'm going. I'm hoping that he gets tired. I'm hoping that something miraculous happens. But I'm not going to go the way them other 99 went.
It's kind of like you don't have to be that fast. You just have to be faster than your slowest friend when the bear is chasing you.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
Carriker would have his back to the corner, throwing 99 humans into the gorilla.
Who do I like the least? Who's made me mad?
Like Carriker would be like, nope, I'm back here. I just got to be better than you.
I'd be strategic. I'd be like, yeah, right in the eye corner. All right, I'm in the corner.
Yep.
Boom, right between the legs. I'm in the corner again.
Poke, trip, push. That would be the whole play.
Oh man, that was fun. Do we get any other text responses before we go to break, Jake?
Again, there's a lot of them. I just
What can you read, my friend?
So there's Bone says 50 Bruce Lee's and 50 Chuck Norris's. Better chance?
Okay, I gotta ask, why can't you read some? What are they?
Oh, I mean, some of them are just not appropriate.
Is it like the type of language that's being used? I never have the text in front of me. I always leave it up to you, so I never know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Everybody's
too gory?
playing along.
Is it too gory? Is that what it is?
No, I mean, okay, I'll just read one.
You're in such a bind right now.
Right. So Augie said, send 100 women, they would nag him to death.
Whoa, okay.
So that's the sort of that was one that I probably
Jake
could
read that. I did not.
with warning you that I shouldn't read it. But yeah, that's the kind of thoughts that maybe
I won't pressure you anymore. Now that you read that one, I understand.
Better left unsaid.
I get where we're at. All right. Well, that was an interesting segment. I was like, I'll just throw this out there and see what happens. So to DP's point, and I know I've gone back and forth on this. I think in my mind, because DP made a good point. Like, people aren't going to get on the same page. People are going to do what's best for themselves. If that's what happens, there's no discussion. In my mind, I was going to the perfect scenario. Everyone works together. Everyone's like got this plan. Nobody cowers out. You need willing sacrificial lambs, which I'm sorry, I'm a little bit too selfish for that. So in a perfect scenario, it could get interesting. I don't know how you get that perfect scenario. And outside of that, well, it'd be interesting for the gorilla. That'd be about it.
Well, you do know how to, again, not to get too involved in this one, but you know how to get a dog to like loosen up his bite, right? So, yeah, maybe that strategy could work.
Okay, explain that to me.
I'm not going to.
Oh, you're not going to?
No.
Okay.
You distract the gorilla or the dog. And I'll do it in the break.
Is that the growing shot, or is that something else?
It's around that area, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I got it. We're good. All right. When we come back, going forward, what you're going to hear on this show: Husker sports, college football, sports in general, and random animal attack discussions, I guess. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Authentic Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a four-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats, including Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carriker, Rashawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th and overall registration goes through May 30th.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are you a fan of local wine, craft beer, cider, or spirits? Don't miss SIP Nebraska's 12th anniversary celebration May 9th and 10th at Mahoney State Park and join others who share your passion for great drinks. Enjoy unlimited tastings, live music, delicious food, artisans, and lawn games as you celebrate Nebraska's vibrant beverage industry. And when you find one you love, you can buy a bottle to take home. Choose your ticket package at sipnebraska.com. The SIP Nebraska Spring Festival, a Blur event, May 9th and 10th at Mahoney State Park in Ashland.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. It is the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Bachman, Adam Carriker alongside in here, as well as our guest from Tipsy Tina's and McKinney's, which we have on every week. And I forgot to change the banner for you, Nathan. But Nathan Stewart in studio with us, and plenty to talk about. As we know, Cinco de Mayo coming up around the corner. You guys got a party lined up there. Should we start with the good or the bad? Because I also want to hear about the spring game or Husker games, as it were,
we'll start out
and how
good.
that went.
Let's
start with the good.
Well, let's start with the good. So this Saturday, we'll be shutting the street down on 8th and Peachtree. We're going to have some live llamas. We're going to have, and like I said, the entire street shut down. We'll have beer vendors, beer trailers. I think we have a jewelry. Some ladies coming making jewelry. We also have face painting for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be a full-on family event. That will go from 2 to 10 on Saturday. And then we'll have a DJ. We've got a couple extra activities we'll be doing. And, of course, giveaways, T-shirts, koozies, things of that sort.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time. What does 2 to 10 look like for you behind the curtain?
Stress.
Making
a lot of margarita batches, making sure we're good to go, make sure we don't run out of stuff. Not as bad as St. Patrick's Day at McKinney's, but just stay on my toes. And we also have the Lincoln Marathon, too, on Sunday. So it's going to be a busy weekend for us. And, of course, the Lincoln Marathon's just been amazing. They've sold out now, I think, for the last 8 or 9 years in a row. So we've already had people calling and trying to get reservations. So we're going to be excited about that. And the weather looks pretty good this weekend. It's going to be in the 70s, no rain, no high winds or anything like that. So fingers crossed. I know a lot can change by then. So
in 2006, after the spring game was over, going into the fall of my senior year, my girlfriend at the time, now my wife Angie, was training to run a marathon. Not the Lincoln Marathon, but she was training to run a marathon. And she was about halfway into her training. And the Lincoln Marathon that year happened to be right on my birthday, which was May 6th. Okay. And so the day before, she gets a text from a friend. And the friend is like, I was going to run the half marathon is what she was going to run with one of her friends. And that friend dropped out. She's like, Angie, do you want to come join me? And I'm like, so you just get a random text. You're going to go run 13 and a half miles or whatever it is just because. So she gets up the next day and she runs a half marathon. Like it's nothing. Just part of her regular marathon training. You want to know what I did while she was running a half marathon? I went to IHOP. I had bacon, eggs, and pancakes. It was awesome. And I still remember that to this day. All right, my man, talk to me. Because you said you went to the Husker games, I believe. Did you go?
I stuck in for a second and I left.
What did you think while you were there? I know it was brief.
Just disappointment, to be honest.
Oh, why is that?
I mean, for the spring game football wise, I just remember, and we had 3 daughters, and I remember that was something that was pretty cool for us to be able to take the kids to every year. It was something cheap. It was something fun. It was kind of their first introduction into football because it was, of course we know the chaos of a normal home football game, but the spring game was something always fun for me. And it was something probably my dad did too. My first game was a spring game when I was 4 or 5 years old. And you can just tell it was just whole different energy. This wasn't the same.
The Husker games themselves, having been there and whatnot, I thought were pretty fun. From a fan who wants to see live football, there was live football, but to your point, it's not quite the same. But my question is, I don't think a lot of people realize the impact the football games have on a local economy and or business. And a football game technically includes a practice known as the spring game every spring, or at least it's supposed to be. I'm just curious, how do you think that having 6, 7, 8,000 people versus 30, 40, 50, how do you think that impacted your business and local businesses?
I mean, a lot of the local businesses I talk to, with most of the restaurants and bars in the Haymarket, we all kind of talk together. We kind of always work, we help each other out. If we run out of something, we all pretty good friends. Everyone I talked to said they were down about 30 to 40% from last year.
Mm-hmm. That's hard.
And even like I think last year, they had 60, 70,000 people at the spring game.
Yep.
I mean, that's a big deal for us. And just not even the bars, but just the liquor ups, the beer ups, things of that sort. Lyft, Uber drivers. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. The hotels. I have a good friend that manages a downtown hotel, and they said that their percentage of they didn't even sell out, and they normally sell out every year for spring game.
Now, they had a soccer game. They had the women's flag football game. Midland looked really good. Their quarterback is legit, by the way. I had a chance to meet and chat with her. She actually has a great arm, can throw on the run, etc. I'm like giving a scouting report on the Midland quarterback. She was like very impressive and stuck out to me. The whole team was very good. Okay, but they had a bunch of other events from that morning, the garage sale to the flag football game to the Husker games to soccer, volleyball. They tried to do as much as they could outside of an actual spring game. Do you feel like it helped when it came to the local economy on Saturday or not?
They just didn't promote it correctly. I mean, there was so many activities that a lot of people I talked to on Sunday, even yesterday, like they didn't realize all the things that were going on. I mean, if you look at social media and there was no advertisements, I mean, you never heard any radio ads, nothing. It's just like they almost didn't want to promote it. So then he didn't have to worry about the transfer portal.
It was interesting because you made the point yesterday because there was live football. Now, obviously, they were figuring this out as it went along. They weren't going to have live football for a long time, and then they decided to have live football. But had they said, hey, the spring game's just going to look a little bit different this year, and we're going to have these things in addition to, I think people from the get-go would have looked at it differently, even if it was laid out the same. To your point, the marketing, and again, college football is insane, and they're trying to figure it out as we go along. It sucks to build the plane while you're flying it, by the way. But I think that definitely hurt a lot of things, and unfortunately, businesses like yours. Jake, did you have any other questions for him before we let him go?
Well, no, I mean, it is interesting. And again, I think moving forward, we'll have maybe a better picture of what to do next year. So hopefully that helps land it a little bit better. But I just wanted to get back to the exciting part of this interview, which is, Trace de Mayo, or Cinco de Mayo, but of course celebrated here on the 3rd. For how long have you been doing this, and kind of what should people expect? I mean, I know you kind of already throw out the plans, but what's the crowd like there?
Our 4th year doing it.
Okay.
Because we opened up in October of 2020. We'll also have like food outside too. Extra, like I said, extra vendors from the face painting and stuff. We try to really make sure it's a family environment so people can come down, especially the llamas. I mean, like I said last week when I was talking to Jackson and those guys, I think the line to meet the llamas and take a picture was longer than a beer line.
All right.
So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. There's a llama farm that's just right outside of town. They bring them in, and
very
of course
cool.
the Tipsy Tinas. Of course, that's our mascot and logo. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
All right, I'm a Star Wars guy. All right, I tried to watch Star Trek one time, which, by the way, don't confuse that. It's very important to some people that is very distinct from each other. I found that out too. I could never get into Star Trek, but I love Star Wars. I have ever since I was a kid. Do you ever tend to do anything on May the 4th be with you? May the 4th?
We've talked about it in past. Every time someone says Star Wars, for some reason, I just remember the movie Ted 2 when they're driving up and then have the Star Wars people walking to Comic-Con. Have you seen that part? And they're like long generations because the girlfriend says something about like Star Trek and no, it's like the wrong it's a wrong thing.
Oh, it's a big deal to some people.
It is. I know, like in the past, there was a time when a rail yard used to do some stuff and they would shadow in Star Wars. I mean, I'm open to it. I'll be honest, I'm kind of more of a Star Trek guy.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm curious. So admittedly, I tried to start to watch one. I became very disinterested, so I'm very limited on I quit watching. I'm limited in my Star Trek knowledge. Why do you prefer Star Trek?
To be honest, that's what my grandfather watched as a kid.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I remember we just watched a sitcom, and so I just that was just what I got hooked on.
See, my dad watched Star Wars. That's probably that simple. What do you watch as a kid, and you tend to stick with it?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I became a Reds and Royals fan because that's what my dad, cheered for, and what happens.
All right, my friend, I appreciate you taking the time. Good luck going forward. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Chelsea plays Everton at 6:30 a.m., followed by Newcastle versus Ipswich Town at 9 a.m. On Sunday, Bournemouth plays Man United at 8 a.m., followed by Liverpool versus Tottenham at 10:30 a.m. Liverpool currently leads the standings with a commanding 79 points. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer, located at 8th and P.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Why wait for fall? Deer season is here now at Landmark Implement. Through June 2nd, get up to $3,000 off select John Deere compact utility tractors or Gator XUVs, or choose 0% APR financing on the hard-working 4044M, 2 Series, 3D, and 3E compact utility tractors or full-size Gator models. There's never been a better time to get behind the wheel of a Deere. Hurry into Landmark Implement today and take advantage of these offers and experience the Landmark difference.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Check out all things The Ticket at theticketfm.com. Also Facebook, X, YouTube, Amazon Prime, anywhere you get your podcast. And what else are we? Oh, yeah. On the radio, 93.7. Turn that dial if you're so inclined. All right. I don't want to spend a lot more time on this, but I put a little bit more thought into it during the commercial break. First of all, DP sent us the AI version of the gorilla just demolishing 100 people. Okay, cool. But what if you're in a giant room, you have nowhere to go? You have to win or you're going to die. Like, this is not an option. Now you have to get on the same page or you're going to die. Because if you work alone, you're dead. It's not going to work out well for some people either way. So my quick thought is, what if 20 people went for the right leg? 20 people went for the left. 20 people went for the stuff in the middle. And I'm just saying, like, there's no shot. There's no world where this works. Just, this is perfect case scenario. But you're going to die either way. You've got no choice. You have to work together. No shot whatsoever. None. Nobody on the text line took the 100 people, by the way. DP didn't take it. I don't know. Am I talking myself back into the other way now? I'm like, there's just no world where this happens. No universe at all. No.
I think there was probably slim. What is that from the Marvel movie? Like 1 in a billion chance. But yeah, I think there's maybe a possibility that works.
All right. We'll move on. I'm just saying, you never know. You got to leave some room for error. Like otherwise, the 28-point favorite, according to Vegas, why play the game? You never know what'll happen, right? Although a gorilla would be like a 90,000-point favorite. All right, let's move on. Husker sports. Jordy Ball has won a bunch of awards. All right, this weekend, they played a bunch of games, but the most recent one, Huskers beat Washington 6-0. All right, she finished with a 1-hit shutout. Let me see here. Pretty sure, well, my notes make no sense. So we're going to move on from that. I can't read my own handwriting. I got to see once in elementary school in handwriting, but that's okay. Let's see. She is the Big Ten Player of the Week as well. 8 RBIs, 3 home runs. Think about this, 626 batting average. She didn't hit at Oklahoma. That's crazy. All right, 12 and a third innings pitched, 23 strikeouts, 2 wins, 0 losses as well. She's also been named the nation's best two-way player by Softball America for 2 months in a row now. All right, I thought this was interesting. Lincoln Arneo, who we just interviewed last week on this fine program, put out on ex-Nebraska signee Kenna Coghill, won her 4th club national championship on Sunday. The Arizona Storm Thunder won the USAV Girls 18s Open Junior National Championship, and Coghill was named the MVP of the division. The 6'4" middle blocker will join the Huskers this summer. So we expected yesterday, not to completely switch gears here, we expected yesterday Chamar Brown to make a commitment. It was reported by several people that he was going to make a commitment. The running back out of North Dakota State, originally from Creighton Prep in Omaha. And it was like 50-50 Nebraska, Miami when we were doing the show. Yesterday evening, otherwise known as last night, it turned into like, well, I've actually got it here, 95% 7% Cal out of nowhere. And then like Nebraska was like 1.3 and whatever Miami was chance of getting him. We still haven't heard anything, have we?
No.
Either way, it doesn't seem good for Nebraska as far as getting him. You never know. Like, he has not committed yet. I got to imagine Miami came back in, Nebraska came back in. How many really good portal running backs are out there right now? So if you need one, you're going to do what you can to get this guy. I will say this. I would expect Miami to be a better overall team and win more games than Cal next year. I would expect Nebraska to be the same way. If you're looking at programs, Nebraska would have the edge over Cal. If you're looking at destinations, Cal's a beautiful area. Miami's hard to beat, though. So when I'm looking at Cal, I'm like, why is Cal in this? Well, NIL, money. I mean, I feel like that's a safe assumption. You never know for 100% sure. But also, they lost 5 running backs. And I don't know if they were paying all of them big chunks of change for NIL, but they probably have the most amount of money available right now. With that amount of guys gone, I would imagine they're going after multiple running backs as well, too. So if you're a Cal coach right now, you're in a bit of an interesting predicament in trying to get this individual. Also, if he goes out there, I would imagine you have a better chance of starting and getting more play time as well. We're still kind of waiting on an update. We were supposed to have an announcement yesterday. Something tells me behind the scenes there's a lot of back and forth going on between Miami, Cal, Nebraska, and Mr. Brown. You got any final thoughts before we kind of move on there, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume the same because it was announced that he was gonna make the announcement. So what's holding that back? Is it really just he said that too soon and just wasn't ready to make the announcement, or is it likely maybe highest bidder type? I mean, I don't want to completely throw it out there because there could be, hey, tell one school, if you meet this mark, then I'm willing to give up a little bit of money here. So it might not quite be highest bidder, but it feels like there's a bidding process going on.
There's nothing, I shouldn't say nothing. There aren't many things better than when you're selling something, whether in this case it's his ability to play football, or it's like when we were selling our house to move back to Lincoln, we got 4 offers. I was like, yes, this is going to get into a bidding war. And then 2 emerged, and they just kept going back and forth, and it was the best thing ever. So I hope Nebraska is able to get him. But if you're Mr. Brown right now, you're sitting in a pretty good situation. All right, so hopefully we get him. If we hear any news throughout the next hour and 4 minutes during this fine program, we'll let you know. All right, a couple of random things. The Bucs have one of the heaviest defensive lines ever. All right, Desmond Watson, the Florida defensive tackle, who is 464 pounds. Did you watch him play at all at Florida last year?
I haven't watched him play. I've only seen pictures.
He actually moves fairly decent for being 464, and he's all of 464. All right, and Vita Vea, who I know and have met and whatnot, 350 pounds. Between those 2 players alone, it's 814 pounds of nose guard that they're rocking there in Tampa, ahead of our good friend, Mr. Levante David. The Colorado Rockies, there are some teams that are struggling right now. All right, in baseball. I can't believe the Braves are on this list. With Ronald Acuna Jr., Spencer Strider, all the talent they've got, but they have 12 wins right now. Pittsburgh, and there's a bunch of other teams with 12, from Minnesota to St. Louis to Miami. Pittsburgh has 11. Baltimore has 10. The Chicago White Sox, who set the record for least amount of wins in a Major League Baseball season in history last year, have 7. The Colorado Rockies are on pace to win 24 baseball games this year. They play 162. That's just crazy to me. I'm not trying to slam the Rockies, but when I saw this, I was, and then the exact thing that was sent to me is, why are we not talking about how the Rockies are on pace to win 24 baseball games a year? So I'm not going to talk a lot about it. I'm just like, wow, that is crazy.
You lived up in that area. I always wonder what is the Rockies like if it was, say, Broncos, Nuggets, Rockies, or throw Avalanche in there. Certainly, what percentage of the fan interest, I suppose, the Rockies get?
Yeah, so we were maybe an hour from the Rockies stadium, 45 minutes from the Broncos stadium. So we went to a Broncos game, a Sunday night game a few years ago. My daughter's a Broncos fan, and Jacob is a Raiders fan, and the Raiders won. And what was she, 6 at the time? Let's just say she threw a gigantic fit the whole 45-minute car ride home. She was very, very upset. But that's the one Broncos game we went to. Never went to a Nuggets game, even though they won the championship while we were there. All right. Times have changed a little bit for him since then. Never went to a Nuggets game, but we probably went to more Rockies games than anything else. As far as fandom, it's unequivocally Broncos number one. Broncos are number one. Probably Nuggets 2, Rockies 3, but it doesn't help. The Rockies just haven't been good for a long time either.
Yeah.
So, and the Nuggets, like I said, just won an NBA championship. So it's like clearly number one was the Broncos. There's a gap. Probably like 2 is the Nuggets and 3 is the Rockies. But I could see that easily flipping if the Rockies, win more than 24 games. Just a few. All right. This was sent to me as well. I thought this was interesting. All right. Has Tommy Hill been signed yet by anybody?
He did. He's going to a mini camp. Got to pull it up. Vikings mini
Vikings.
camp.
Okay, at the time this was sent to me, and it's just crazy. Shadur Sanders is an obvious example of how you can fall and lose a ton of money. Imagine the amount of money that he lost, okay, going from, let's say, a top 5 pick, as he was projected, to round 5, where he actually went. And I'm just going to read what was sent to me. All right, from Matt Rule telling the world, Tommy Hill, that he's a first rounder to not even getting an undrafted free agent deal. He's now with the Vikings, going to go to their camp. This person just said the fall off of Tommy Hill needs to be studied. And how does this happen sometimes to players? And I know the injury played into it last year. Okay. And I don't think he was even with the team the last few games. Was he even with the team anymore? Or how'd that work out? Do you remember?
I remember they
didn't
told
play.
Him, that they weren't going to play him. I don't know if he was on the sideline or anything.
Okay. I couldn't remember that for sure. It's crazy because when I tell folks, a lot of people have talent. There's more that goes into it. Some folks will point to circumstance or things that happen in life, which plays a role to a degree. It's kind of like that old gambler song. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. And sometimes being able to know how to play the hand that you're dealt is as important as anything. I'll tell my kids, it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens to you that matters the most. So Tommy's going to get a chance. We're going to go through a list of other guys who were signed as undrafted free agents as well, who are going to get a chance. Portal updates and news. Let's see what else we got. We got some clips of, Deion was my favorite player growing up. The clip I sent of you, what he said about how they're going to dictate terms to NFL teams on that show. I was like, wow. Could you believe it when I sent that to you yesterday? Like, that's the approach and attitude?
That didn't come off well, no.
So we got some clips and whatnot. And actually, there's an individual out there who believes that Shadur has handled the prank call that he received really, really well. And we have a clip of Shadur and how he wants to approach going to the Browns, who, by the way, did not look thrilled at all when they drafted him. I mean, it was like golf claps, like we're being forced to clap here. But his approach to how he wants to go to Cleveland and kind of his attitude. And I'll tell you what, when you hear how he responded to the kids who prank called him, and yes, they phoned and they apologized, and then you hear how he wants to approach going into the Browns minicamp. I've said it a couple of videos I put out on social media, this could be one of the best things to happen for him. It's kind of impressive how he's responded in the approach he says he's going to take. We'll see if he actually does it. I'm curious how welcoming a locker room is going to be and how welcoming some of these folks in the building are going to be who didn't seem that excited to actually draft him. But if he comes in with the right attitude, and I'm just going to tell you right now, Colin Cowherd, actually in the clip we're going to play, predicts that Sanders will be starting by Thanksgiving for the Browns. All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Hour 2, right around the corner.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light breeze. An afternoon high near 67. Tonight, a chance of showers late, otherwise partly cloudy and a low near 46. And tomorrow, a chance of showers throughout the day, otherwise mostly cloudy with a high near 66. I'm meteorologist Kyle Carriker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett. Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Chelsea plays Everton at 6:30 a.m., followed by Newcastle versus Ipswich Town at 9 a.m. On Sunday, Bournemouth plays Man United at 8 a.m., followed by Liverpool versus Tottenham at 10:30 a.m. Liverpool currently leads the standings with a commanding 79 points. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer, located at 8th and P.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Hour 2, numero dos of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right. Time for your daily friendly reminder to check out the inaugural Carriker Chronicles football camp featuring Eric Crouch, Amon Green, Zach Weger, Kenny Wilhite, and yours truly, taking place in Lincoln, Nebraska this summer, July 9th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can learn more, register at carrikerchronicles.com. At the LYF Lincoln Youth Football Fields, autographs and T-shirts will be included. It is for the kids. The camp that's for the kids, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, K through 8th graders. Learn the basics. Take your game to the next level. Have a unique experience you're going to remember for a very long time. All right, Carriker Chronicles Football Camp. Learn more and or register at carrikerchronicles.com. Nebraska has, I don't think they've had anyone else enter, but as of the last time I looked, let me know if there's an additional person to add to this list. But Nebraska's had 4 transfer portal entries as of this morning. Tight end Ian Flint, offensive lineman David Borchers, wide receiver Hayes Miller, cornerback Evan Taylor. Is there anyone else that's gotten in the portal since that you're aware of there, Jake?
Just if you didn't see it yesterday, Nico Otomanelli entered the portal as well as Grant Seagren. So,
yeah, man, I was sad to see Grant enter. Rule had specifically talked about him in a press conference. He was a walk-on. He's like, this dude's a player, and it was almost like Rule was trying to get him to believe that he was a player, because he said if he can believe that he's a player, this is a guy that can play for us, offensive tackle, and he had played well this spring. You know, obviously there's anticipation of what Elijah Pritchett can do. Turner Corcoran's going to be coming back healthy. Tyler Canuck has stood out throughout the spring. Grant Bricks has been at tackle. I'm curious to see if he moves back to guard when we have some of these offensive linemen returning for fall camp that are healthy. Maybe he stays out at tackle. But I was kind of sad to hear that. I, as everyone knows, I have kind of a soft spot for the walk-ons and whatnot. But wish him the best, and we'll see what happens in the future with him. All right. Some of the other former Huskers who have received opportunities at the next level. Brian Buschini, former punter, has received a mini camp invite from the New York Giants. All right. I believe this is MJ Sherman. Is it MJ Sherman that's going to the Broncos mini camp?
Yep,
Do I have that correct? Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
is there a big difference between mini camp invite and undrafted free agent?
So, like, undrafted free agent is the minicamp invite's more of a tryout. Like, you're showing up to the minicamp, and either you're going to be there at the end of the 3-day minicamp or you're not, which can be anybody at any given time. An undrafted free agent, they're anticipating you being there at least to the first cuts in camp in August.
Okay.
The minicamp invite, it's like a tryout. Like, you're here for 3 days, and then you either get invited back or not. Does that make sense, the difference?
Yeah, and is there like a money difference as well, I would assume?
I'd be unfamiliar with that.
Okay.
I would imagine the guy with the undrafted free agent status may get a little bit more just because they expect him to be there longer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they haven't drafted you, it's kind of one of those things. They're not going to put a bunch of money on the table until you earn that spot for sure going forward as well either. So I don't know. I can't speak monetarily to the difference there. We mentioned Tommy Hill. All right, minicamp invite to the Vikings, Micah Mazuka. All right. it says Chiefs and 49ers on here. How does that work?
I'm not sure. I'll look at that.
That's a little confusing for me. It says pro Big Red minicamp invite Micah Mazuka. All right, this is per Nebraska football on X. It says Chiefs plus 49ers. So I'm not exactly.
You got an invite from both of them?
I'm not sure how that works or what that means. Also, the graphic is so similar because the Chiefs and Niners colors are not that different. It's hard to tell even which one is which as I look at this. I will say this. I'm very curious about Micah Mazuka. I've been told he was the most NFL-ready offensive lineman we had. He didn't start or play a bunch last year, especially after midway into the Colorado game. And I believe at one point they said he kind of lost his job. There was a game last year where he's at the Lincoln Airport on Friday before the game on Saturday. Obviously, he didn't play on Saturday. So this is a guy who has the talent, the ability. He's technically started for Nebraska. So he started for 3 different Power 4 programs in 3 different Power 4 conferences. Baylor, Big 12, Florida, SEC, Nebraska, Big 10. All right. He has at least a start, if not at least 2 under his belt for Nebraska. I forget exactly how many he started last year. And this is a dude, when he was at Baylor, he was graded the second best run blocking guard in the entire conference. And that's when Oklahoma and Texas were still in the conference. So this dude's got talent. He's got ability, but you got to put it together. How does that work? How's it going to come together? Some guys kind of find themselves as time goes on. Some guys, it takes even more time than that. And sometimes football's passed you by at that point. Can he put it together sooner rather than later? Because he's clearly got the physical ability and attributes as well. All right, the quarterback, Trae Taylor, 2027 quarterback, one of the top quarterbacks in the country. He came back to Lincoln again this past weekend. I saw him on the field during the Husker games. He wanted to get a feel for the current players, the coaching staff, the fans, and a feel and the vibe around Lincoln again. Most spring games, coaches at Nebraska will bring in recruits, and you got the spring game atmosphere and Husker Nation to help with recruiting. Again, not anywhere near as big a crowd as you're typically used to for whatever you want to dub last weekend, the Husker game, spring game replacement weekend. There was some live football or whatever the case may be, but it seems like he is definitely leaning towards Nebraska at this point. He's going to make his announcement May 1st. May 1st, he'll make his announcement, and it sure seems like things are strongly pointing at this point in time towards him coming to the Big Red. All right. Real quick, I always want to see what the people and the fine folks at home have to say. Is there anything off the text line going all the way back to the beginning of the show you think we should address at this point there, Jake?
Well, again, it's mostly still about the 100 men against.
All
the
right,
Gorillas,
what do we got? This is captivating people's attention. What do we got? What are they saying?
Bose says send in 100 Colorado Buffalo fans.
Basically, he just doesn't care what happens to the people. All right, what's next?
Husker P says 0 chance, Adam, 0. So
0.
Yeah, doesn't think it's going to happen.
No world at all.
And going back to the running back, Jamar Brown, Nebraska's after 1255 says Berkeley is a cool place. I would prefer it to Miami.
Okay, so has he been to Miami? What was his name?
Just a text. We don't have the name. So
well, the
1255.
All right, 1255. Is that it?
Yep.
12. Have you been to Miami? I've not. So Cal and Stanford are like right around San Francisco. I know, and I've been there to play the Niners, so I've been around San Francisco, not specifically where Cal is, although I don't remember how far it was away. I remember it was pretty close. Like Stanford and Cal are very close to each other. I've been to Miami. I'm curious, has he been to Miami? Is there a little bit of comparison there? The opportunity to start at Cal is got to be appealing to Brown, but let's be honest, it's going to come down to money. It just is. I guarantee it's going to come down to money. Okay, and again, I haven't spoken to him to confirm that, but I'd be pretty surprised if that's not it. I thought this was interesting. All right, Braylon Warren, who's Steve Warren's son, all right, 6'2", 195-pound quarterback, class of 2027, all right, out of Omaha West Side. Ohio State is meeting with him. So I just thought that was interesting. We'll see if anything unfolds with Braylon and Nebraska down the road. To this point, I don't believe there's been anything, but we'll see what happens. And we'll see what happens, maybe he gets an offer from Ohio State. Maybe they like what they see. We'll see what happens. All right, let me see here. So we got 3 clips. Maybe we should get to those 3 clips at this point. And I talked about this, I think it was yesterday. I could be wrong. But Quinn Ewers actually passed on $8 million of NIL to go chase his dream in the NFL. And not many people really been talking about his fall. I don't want to say fall, but his fall down the draft. 7th round pick, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. And, Will Howard, 6th round pick of the Steelers. I think he's a Pennsylvania guy, so I believe that was a big deal to him. He was in tears, emotional. That's why the prank phone call made me so mad. Like, that's Josh Pate talking about Quinn Ewers and chasing his dream. Let's play the Colin Cowherd one, talking about Shadur and how he handled the prank call and how he says he wants to approach getting to Cleveland and trying to earn some respect on that team. All right, do you have that clip ready?
Yep.
Go ahead and roll
Did
it.
anybody watch how Shadur Sanders handled it? It was really impressive. He said, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes.
Pause it real quick.
Wow.
So to be clear, in the first part of this clip, he's talking about the prank call that he received on draft day. Now, again, they've apologized to him. All right, Jax Albright, the kid who did it, picked up the phone, called him, apologized to him on the phone. Still not an easy thing, but he's talking about his response to that and then going forward. Go ahead there, Jake.
Why older members of the media are wrecked by it and deeply bothered that he fell in the draft. He wasn't. He kept the thing. He's not going to hold a grudge, and you'll find that as a habit among winners in life generally. They're not grudge holders. They focus on what matters. Shadur Sanders came out when somebody played a really cruel joke. Unacceptable. And he said, it's okay. It's okay. People make mistakes. That is an incredibly impressive reaction. And as he dropped in the draft, here's what he said about going to Cleveland.
I know I'm going to fit in perfectly. I feel like it's first getting in, showing the respect to the vets, showing them, I'm here ready to work, show the coaches and have them understand, I'm here ready to work so they can actually understand the real me. That's what I'm truly thankful to have, is the opportunity for people to actually see the real me and not be able to see, stuff that could be true or not. That's what I'm most excited about being in the building.
Wow. I mean, Aaron Rodgers dropped a few draft picks, was bitter. Shadur Sanders drops to the 5th round and he's like, I can't wait to get into the building, show respect to the veterans. He gets pranked. He could have had a multitude of reactions. He's like, a kid made a mistake. We're all going to be okay. People make mistakes. That makes me want to root for Shadur Sanders. You guys can throw tizzy fits reacting to the dropping in the draft. By the way, Kyle McCord dropped. He went later than I thought. And he went to the Philadelphia Eagles. And by the way, Will Howard, he went really late too. He went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, this idea that going high in the draft and to really bad franchises is always the answer. The truth is, Joe Flacco will probably win that Browns job. My guess is Shadur Sanders easily, because he was underdrafted. He will easily win the backup role over Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett. Easily. And then by Thanksgiving, I'm going to make a bet. Shadur Sanders is going to play and be the starting quarterback.
So, well, let me read this first, because I've said on social media, dropping like this could be the best thing to ever happen to Shadur, depending on how he responds to it. Again, it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to what happens to you that is the biggest indicator of what's going to happen in the future. I'd say at least 19 out of 20, 95% of the time, 19 out of 20 times. Because here is what a particular scout said before, or Todd Mache said before the draft. Shadur didn't have a great interview with Brian Daboll in a private visit. I believe this is the Giants. Okay. An install package came in. Preparation wasn't there for it. He got called out. Didn't like that. Didn't appreciate it. And it got rather loud in the meeting between both sides. End quote. And then the person at the bottom says Sanders had basically an awful visit with the Giants, who had the number 3 pick in the draft, ended up taking a quarterback. It's one thing to hear common reports like that, and then to fall in the draft, to get prank called, to handle it the way that he handled it. Hey, it's a mistake. I think it sounds like I may be madder about it than he is. I don't know. All right. And then his approach that he wants to take when he goes to Cleveland, he might be better for what happened. He might be a better quarterback for what happened in the draft. When I said I didn't think for months that he was a first-round pick and there's all these concerns, it was never me rooting against him. It was me saying what hadn't been said yet, which is, guys, there's gigantic red flags around this guy. Okay? But I could find myself rooting for him if you see a turn and a change towards the better. Jameis Winston. The people love Jameis Winston now. That hasn't always been the case due to certain things in the past that can be left in the past. And I actually love Jameis Winston. I think he's hilarious. And he's with, what is it? Is it the Giants?
Yeah, he's in a crowded quarterback room himself now.
Russell Wilson, Winston, and then the Giants drafted a quarterback as well. So for me, I'm like, oh man, could I actually find myself rooting for Shadur? The other thing I thought was interesting, we'll see what happens. Words are one thing, actions are another. We'll see what happens. The other thing is Joe Flacco, because you mentioned yesterday, Deshaun Watson's out this year, Achilles. So it's Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shadur Sanders. And once I found yesterday that Deshaun Watson was out of the picture, due to an injury, I'm like, oh, that changes everything. Now the starting job is wide open. Obviously, you've eliminated another guy you have to beat out because they're probably going to keep 2 active guys and a practice squad guy. That's what most teams do. And instead of having to, win that job amongst 5 guys, now you got to win it amongst 4. Now you're looking around, there's like only 1 guy won't be here, as opposed to nearly 50% of the room when there was 5 of us. And now the guy who was pretty much going to be the starter, now that job's wide open. I thought it was interesting when he said Joe Flacco will probably win the starting job. Yeah, I think that's, what I predict too. But when he's like, he'll easily win the backup job, I thought that was interesting. Remember, the Browns drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. That's 2 full rounds ahead of Shadur, and they did not seem excited when they drafted Shadur. Shadur has gone from a situation where it was daddy ball to a situation where he's going to have to more than earn it. He's going to have to beat out guys who were drafted way ahead of him. Flacco, I know Watson's out. Kenny Pickett, both first round picks. Flacco, Super Bowl champ, a little bit older. Dylan Gabriel, drafted 3rd round. Like, Shadur was the 5th round pick. He's by far the lowest guy drafted. I don't know that they're uber excited he's there. It seemed more like the owner call than a GM coach call. He's going to have to more than earn the job. So when Colin was like, oh, I think he easily earns the backup job. Well, we'll see. He might. But then he'd be starting by Thanksgiving. That's interesting to me. It wouldn't surprise me if Dylan or Shadur win the backup job if they are starting at some point, because they're both talented young rookie quarterbacks. The Browns are going to want to get on the field eventually. So I could see that happening. But when it comes to kind of the 3 points there, I know we got a break. All right. 3 points. Your reaction to how Shadur reacted to the prank call and his attitude going into Cleveland, entering the locker room. Okay. Number 2, will he be the backup quarterback? And will he start for the Browns at some point this year?
Yeah, it's interesting because Joe Flacco, remember, you got to get him credit. He's back. He went to the Colts last year. The year previous to that was kind of his resurgence. He helped lead the Browns to the playoffs. So I think that they've got somewhat of a soft spot there, and they've seen it work before. So I do think that he will probably get the start there. But no, I think it was a lot better handled than it could have been with the prank phone call. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think that's ridiculous, and understanding that it was a young person that did it. Young people make mistakes, but that's just messing with somebody, at the wrong time. So I think that the way that he's handled all of this, I mean, when you hear him say, as opposed to what he's said previously and where this could have gone, right? When he pre-draft, he was saying, I'm going to change the culture. That's what you're going to get with me. It's happened everywhere I've been. Okay, well, now you're a 5th round pick, and now you have to act like a 5th round pick. And what he said is, I'm going to go in and show the veterans respect. And so that's what he has to do. He can't go in pouting or acting like and that's what I think a lot of people scared him away from him to begin with, was if you draft him in the 1st round, then you get the TV cameras. There's always TV cameras around the Sanders. There's TV shows that they've got. You get the entourage, you get the belief that he's better than some of the people in the organization. All of that. And I think that's what scared a lot of people away. So if he can turn into Shadur Sanders, the humble 5th round pick, with the upside of, having 1st, 2nd round talent, then yeah, there's definitely a spot there. It's just fascinating though, because Dylan Gabriel's just a winner. His measurables might not kind of meet up to everybody else. He's kind of known as being good at everything, not great at one thing. And so it just kind of depends on how they evaluate that. But I do think Shadur Sanders, before it's all said and done, whether it's with the Browns, I don't know this season. Like I'm kind of covering my bases here, but I do think he'll get a chance to start at some point. And for any organization, the Browns are terrible at handling quarterbacks, so there should be an opportunity there at some point.
There should be an opportunity there, he said. You never gave it a... Okay, I don't know if I gave my actual prediction. I predict he will not be the backup quarterback. Even if he's the best guy for the job, I think there's extra mountains he has to climb within. Did you see their reaction when they drafted him?
Yeah, that was clearly an owner decision.
He's going to, unless the owner steps in and says, you got to play this kid, which I don't know why you would do that when you draft a guy third round, unless he's just clearly better. I think he's got extra mountains he has to climb now. At least that's my impression. So I think Dylan or Kenny is the backup quarterback. I think it's Dylan. I think Shadur is on the practice squad. And I think Dylan Gabriel ends up starting for the Browns at some point this year. Mm-hmm. I think Shadur a year from now, if he does things the right way for a year, I could see him sometime a year from now, 2 football seasons from now, starting for the Browns. In fact, that's what I'm going to predict. Dylan's the backup, Shadur's the practice squad, but a year from now, at some point, Dylan starts. We'll go with Thanksgiving. That's what Cowherd said for Shadur. A year from now, Shadur at some point becomes the starting quarterback for the Browns if he handles things the right way for the next year. All right, what's your prediction real quick before we go to break?
Well, it's interesting because I do think Kenny Pickett is kind of the lost man in this group. You kind of feel like he just got that first-round pick a few years ago. Yep. Kind of did the sit out and be the backup last year. He's got starting experience under his belt, so it's not going to be easy. But I do think it's tough because you get the Brown. Like I said, it's just the Browns aspect of it that I don't even trust. Like, if what would make sense, what should happen logically, probably won't go the way the Browns do it. So I will side with Colin and say he makes a start this year.
All right. That's very interesting. We'll see. It'll be the Browns are going to get more views this year, more people watching them than they've had in quite a while, I would imagine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. When we come back, I do have a clip from Deion that I think is something that deterred NFL teams as well. There's just this type of attitude. Okay, Steve Sarkisian and Arch Manning both opted out of the EA Sports College Football 26 cover shoot at the Rose Bowl. And if you remember, I don't believe Arch Manning was in the game last year, was he?
I think he was a late ad.
Did they add him late? Okay.
I believe so.
I thought he opted out entirely. Okay. All right. Let's see. Got some Husker stuff I'm looking at right here as well. So we got plenty to talk about when we come back. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We shall return.
Delicious, decadent, scrumptious, delightful. What other words can I use to describe something so tasty? How about heavenly? Chef Bob Haney created heavenly waffles to be incredibly fluffy, packed with protein, and loaded with a plethora of angelic toppings to elevate your experience beyond the typical waffle and syrup. Don't just take our word for it. You can experience heavenly waffles for yourself this Wednesday, April 30th from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. only at the 93.7 The Ticket Studios located at 1040 O Street in Lincoln.
Why wait for fall? Deer season is here now at Landmark Implement. Through June 2nd, get up to $3,000 off select John Deere compact utility tractors or Gator XUVs, or choose 0% APR financing on the hard-working 4044M, 2 Series, 3D, and 3E compact utility tractors or full-size Gator models. There's never been a better time to get behind the wheel of a Deere. Hurry into Landmark Implement today and take advantage of these offers and experience the Landmark difference.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes. Feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to bebignow.org.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Authentic Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln.
Buckle up and hang on, this is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together, so close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Entitlement gets you nothing. Excuses gets you nothing. Lack of effort gets you nothing. Show up, lock in, do the work. No deposit, no return. Nick Saban. All right. We got a couple of clips we're going to play here really quickly. Adidas Football put out this morning. Same last name, his own legacy, year 2 loading in Lincoln. Welcome to the Adidas fam, Dylan Raiola. Quick thoughts? Anything?
I still kind of break down what that means because obviously Nebraska and Adidas school, but very cool. I mean, I was looking at like who their athletes were, and all I could find is pro football athletes. So I was kind of looking for like other college athletes they had signed. So maybe something maybe a commercial soon with him and Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes also an Adidas athlete.
I thought that was interesting because I'm like, aren't we already Adidas? And I was with you. I was like, is there a lot of individual collegiate athletes that get shoe deals? It's coming. It's coming. It is what it is. But that was announced this morning as well. And here's the thing. Like, I talked about Jalen Hurts after the Super Bowl. Remember, he was benched in the national title game, transferred to Oklahoma, et cetera, et cetera. Second round pick, so not a bad pick as far as like, you know, being a second round pick from his perspective. A lot of people thought that was too high. All right. Obviously, he just won a Super Bowl. I thought this progression was worth noting as we talk about guys being drafted here, picked there. Jalen Hurts, did you know he fumbled his first ever snap in a college football game? Goes on to win the Super Bowl as the Eagles quarterback, obviously, this year. Present day Super Bowl champion and MVP. He also has the most rushing yards and touchdowns by a quarterback in Super Bowl history, tied for most NFL rushing TDs in a season by a quarterback with 15. 2-time a Pro Bowl selection in 2022 and 2023. Jake, when he was drafted in the second round by the Eagles, did you think it was a good pick in the second round? And did you think he would end up doing this?
Well, I'm a Nostradamus, so obviously I knew all this was coming. No, I didn't. I was kind of questioning at the time, kind of thinking, I remember specifically thinking, okay, maybe that's a stopgap quarterback for a second round pick. You know, we kind of see that. That's kind of where a lot of those guys end up, you know, unless they can shine above it. And he has shined considerably above it. I still go back to when Nick Saban benched him at halftime of the championship game for Tua, and that just ages. It doesn't get better or worse. It's just it almost is. It's just more incredible that it happened.
I don't think that's been talked about enough. He was the SEC Offensive Player of the year before as a freshman. He's a sophomore now. They're in this title game. They're getting beat by Georgia. Okay. SEC Offensive Player of the Year. Had played in the national title game the year before as a starting quarterback versus Clemson the year before. Tua Tagovailoa has played zero meaningful snaps all year. Hadn't started a game. True freshman. Highly recruited, highly thought of. You're at halftime of the national championship game, and you make that switch. Here's why it ages just fine, because they won. That's why it ages fine. But I don't think that people, if they go on and it gets ugly, people are going to look at that decision very different. That's a gutsy decision. That takes some grapefruits, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking watermelons, 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't feel like that's been given its due justice. 2 of my favorite decisions in the history of college football. Heat of the moment, national title game, all the pressure in the world is on you type decisions. Going for 2 against Miami, Tom Osborne. Real men go for 2. Never forget that, Jake. Also, that halftime decision by Nick Saban. Because if he does that and they lose, I have the complete opposite reaction. What a terrible decision. This guy's overrated. You know, I don't know. Have you ever really sat there and thought about that at all, Jake?
Well, it's just because at the time, the only understandable portion of it, okay, is this Tua is going to be the next big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, okay. And so there was somewhat of an understanding of, okay, well, maybe physically he's just got some traits that are better than Jalen Hurts. But as time has come on, we've seen Jalen Hurts is the better quarterback, or at least having the better career. So I just think that makes it even more wild at this point that maybe you bench the better quarterback of the 2 for somebody that was so green, but still he thought maybe had that matchup. And of course, a lot of people forget too, he threw that game-winning touchdown past the Devontae Smith, who went on to win the Heisman. That game should be one of the best games I think we've ever seen in college football, but it doesn't often get mentioned up there. But with all those storylines that you have that have played out since, I think it should.
Well, Devontae Smith was a freshman as well, if you remember. Yeah. So here's the rest of that story. I'm with you. That thing, I don't know if a full 30 for 30 could be done on it, I think. By the way, the 95 Nebraska team. What happened to that 30 for 30? I digress. The next year, Jalen doesn't transfer. He stays at Alabama. Tua's the starter. Do you remember they played Georgia in the SEC championship game? Georgia is mollywhopping them. All of a sudden, at halftime, they benched Tua. Well, Tua got hurt, actually. Here comes Jalen Hurts, and he leads Alabama back to a victory. And I can't help but wonder if getting benched in that title game, as much as that sucked, much like potentially Shadur falling to the 5th round and getting drafted there, could have been the best thing for Jalen, could be the best thing for Shadur. Again, it's not the hand you're dealt. It's how you play the hand that you have. It's not what happens to you. It's how you react. Because Jalen then eventually did transfer to Oklahoma, Heisman finalist the next year, I might add, under Lincoln Riley, who just rolls them out every freaking day. All right. I don't know. I've always found that game to be very intriguing, that story plot to be intriguing. Here's another thing I thought that was interesting. What if I told you, Jake, good, kind sir, my friend, that UFC's 10th, 12th, and 13th head coaches all faced off in the 2018 Peach Bowl? Did you ever realize that? Scott Frost was their 10th. Gus Malzahn was their 12th. Scott Frost was their 13th. And they faced each other in that Peach Bowl where UCF was undefeated and Auburn was top 10, and UCF obviously came out the victor.
Who was on that staff?
Did that even dawn on you, man?
No, because you're naming 3 coaches, but I get what you're saying. Scott Frost's been there twice.
All right, so we're supposed to go to a break. We still have 2 clips to play. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the break. We're going to try to stay on topic this time. And then we're going to play 2 clips in our last segment, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Chelsea plays Everton at 6:30 a.m., followed by Newcastle versus Ipswich Town at 9 a.m. On Sunday, Bournemouth plays Man United at 8 a.m., followed by Liverpool versus Tottenham at 10:30 a.m. Liverpool currently leads the standings with a commanding 79 points. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer, located at 8th and P.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Fight fans, May 3rd, Dynasty Combat Sports hosts the first bare-knuckle boxing bout ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena, pitting Lincoln's Tower Robinson against McCook's Thomas Thatcher. Additionally, MMA bouts will see champion Nate Morrow battle Nebraska City's Brett Minner. University of Nebraska wrestler Tyler Berger makes his pro MMA debut, and Hunter Green takes on Husham Zadow for the amateur featherweight title. Also, professionals Brady Minner, Sean Lindgren, Justin Weaver, and the debut of another Nebraska wrestler, Bubba Wilson. 16 fights are scheduled Saturday, May 3rd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Fight cards subject to change. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Pinnacle Bank Arena box office. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to bebignow.org.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, according to Jamie Shaw on X, agents have all the juice. College coach sounds off about the role of agents in the 2025 transfer portal, and I quote, "The NIL agents are simply taking players' money, asking for 15% of a collective price that the players are already going to get, with most of the agents not providing any actual name, image, and likeness help. That's because it's not name, image, and likeness. It's pay for play. It's hired mercenaries." By the way, 15% is insane. NFL agents take 3%, if you were wondering. All right. Quinn Ewers passes up on an $8 million NIL deal. I have that correct, right? $8 million?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
That's what I thought. God. To go chase his NFL dream. Falls to the 7th round. Obviously not going to make anywhere near that. And people are like being a little disrespectful. So play that clip from Josh Pate real quick.
Is it not funny to anyone other than me
that you got this group of casual fans that scream at kids when they chase a bag in college football. And that same crowd's criticizing Quinn Ewers for turning down a bag to chase his dream. What exactly are you wanting guys to do? They chase the bag in college, and shame on them. And then you got one that says $4 million, huh? No, I think I'll go chase my dream. I want to be an NFL player. And you know what? If I go in the 6th or 7th round, that's okay. I just want a shot. All due respect, thank you for your time. I'm going to turn down the money. What an idiot. Might I use the L word here? I don't think anyone knows where I'm going. Jesse and Colin, do you know where I'm going? No one knows. No one knows. Legacy. Legacy matters. You've always taken it for granted because up until about 10 minutes ago, guys began and played and finished their career at one school. But that's becoming less and less of a norm, especially at his position. Do you know over the next 30 years how much it's worth to Quinn Ewers on the speaking circuit, at public events and functions, to be able to market himself as a legacy former Texas quarterback and nothing else, just Texas quarterback? Because maybe not in 1 year, but over several years, that's worth a whole heck of a lot more than $4 million. And if you don't believe me, you don't know much about the state of Texas, that Longhorn brand, that position, and what it means to be able to market yourself accordingly. He's just Quinn Ewers, former Texas quarterback, and folks appreciate that, especially that those deeper pockets, which tend to be your older crowd. They appreciate that stuff, and they always will, and they should.
$4 million, not $8 million. I knew that sounded a bit high, but $4 million. You got a quick response to that, Jake, and then I want to play the other clip.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, and if that's the path that he wanted to take, then so be it. I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd group everybody into one category or the other as far as how you feel about it all together. I just, as a college football fan, it just hurts a little bit because it looks like he's probably not going to get. I mean, he could be the top quarterback returning in college football. He'd be like the marquee, other than Arch Manning, which is why we'd have to transfer. I mean, he makes a lot of good points there. I don't know how much it would hurt if understandingly that he left and played at LSU or whatever it was. It wouldn't be LSU, but some other school. I think Texas fans would probably understand and still treat him as a Texas Longhorn. So I don't know if it would take too much away there.
All right, let's roll that Deion clip. And again, one of the reasons I'm so intrigued by Deion, he was my favorite NFL player growing up. I love primetime. I love how flashy he was. I love how unique his skill set was, that he played Major League Baseball for nine years. I don't know if people realize he played that long. The fact that he could play wide receiver, returner, DB, the fact that he could talk trash and back it up. I mentioned yesterday, he's got to keep in mind, and the draft is already over, Shadur is not him. So you can't have the same exact approach. And I wonder if what we're about to play here, I don't wonder. It absolutely factored into how teams viewed Shadur and his draft stock. Go ahead and roll that clip there.
You have said that if the right team does not pick him, that you will intervene.
That's my son. It's not like who I would like for him to play for. It's a couple teams that I won't allow him to play for. It's almost like you got a child that's going into an occupation that you already dominated in. Like, come on. And you don't think I'm not gonna sit there like a navigational system and tell him take a right there, take a left right there, take a not that, not that. Oh no. Like, that's who I'm called to. That's my son. I'm not gonna let my son get down in no foolishness.
But you and I both know these coaches, these owners, right? You've been in the rooms.
Right.
The owners, billionaire owners,
yes,
will often say, well, this is a young man who should be making his own decisions. He's got this helicopter dad.
Not my son.
First of all, why are they clapping? They're clapping. And then he's talking about an industry that he dominated, he's going to guide and this and that. Well, he did dominate. Again, Shadur is not Deion. Folks have strong opinions, okay, about certain things. This is part of the reason the draft unfolded the way that it did. And yes, we all want to help our kids and we all want to help guide them. And yes, Deion played in the NFL. and he understands a lot of things, but I think he's also looking at it through the wrong colored glasses. Shadur is not Deion. And you heard him talk, basically equate Shadur to him. And I'm not going to let him play for certain teams. Well, then Shadur, we played the clip the other day. He's like, if you ain't going to change your, what did he say? Your franchise's culture or whatever. He's like, don't draft me. Well, they started putting limitations on who could draft him, and you kind of saw what happened. Again, I'm a big fan of Deion, but at some time, kids learn best from their own mistakes. And you don't want them to make gigantic ones. But at some point, they got to learn from their own mistakes. They got to leave the coop. They gotta go fly on their own. Like, isn't it true that like a mama bird will just push the bird out of the nest at some point? You got to learn how to fly or say hello to gravity, one or the other. I'm not a bird expert, but I believe that's true. I don't know. It was interesting because I'm a big fan of Deion, and I found that clip honestly rather hard, especially as a father myself. I coached my son all the way up through 8th grade, and I've been asked to help coach with his high school team, which I greatly appreciate. But I said to the coach, it's time for him to go on his own to a degree. Obviously, he's still living at home. We support him as appropriate as a high school player, but now it's time for him to go do his thing with a new coach that's not me, so he can have that experience. I've also got 5 other kids growing up, and it's, their turn as well, so that factored in too. That's kind of how I approached it. At some point, like, let the D1 daddy ball go, let the NFL daddy ball go, and let Shadur go do it on his own. Again, the way he reacted to the prank call and the way his apparent attitude is to entering the locker room at Cleveland, I kind of want to root for him now. And I hope the actions match the words. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Unlike Jake, I don't feel like being here tomorrow. No, I just don't have a show on Wednesdays. One-on-one with DP, Steve Taylor. Tune in tomorrow, 11 to 1 p.m. They'll do a phenomenal job. I'll be back on Thursday. Don't go beating up any gorillas in the meantime, Jake, okay?
All right.
Go, Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the ball.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Authentic Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln. Delicious, decadent, scrumptious, delightful. What other words can I use to describe something so tasty? How about heavenly? Chef Bob Haney created heavenly waffles to be incredibly fluffy, packed with protein, and loaded with a plethora of angelic toppings to elevate your experience beyond the typical waffle and syrup. Don't just take our word for it. You can experience heavenly waffles for yourself this Wednesday, April 30th from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. only at the 93.7 The Ticket Studios located at 1040 O Street in Lincoln. Spring is here. It's time to